afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Average Dave's Movie and TV Talk. And guess what? Today is episode 25. We thought last week was, but it was 24. But today is episode 25.
I don't pay attention enough.
Well, you know.
I had no idea. It could have been 36 for all I care.
Just a fair warning about our movie TV Talk channel. We do talk spoilers. We do talk politically sensitive issues. We are not politically correct about the entertainment industry. We speak our mind about the entertainment industry. And every so often, some bad words might slip out, and that's usually from Dave. This is our opinion, nobody else's opinion. And always remember, entertainment is subjective, and that's what it makes it fun to talk about.
You just wait till next week. It's going to be a hard R rating on that sucker.
2 weeks, yeah.
You got what I'm talking about.
Don't forget, if you have any questions, please comment in the comment section or reach out to us at the Average Dave's Talk at yahoo.com. Also, check out and subscribe to Okemo Valley TV on YouTube or at okemovalley.tv, and also on channels 1076 and 1086 on Xfinity Comcast. I actually went through that pretty good today.
Yeah, no stuttering,
no stuttering,
mumbles.
mumbling.
Have you seen that trailer for that Angel Studios movie, The King of Kings?
I have.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks decent.
Yeah.
Angel Studios actually looks like it's coming out with some decent stuff.
Well,
and guess what? It's not. It's not.
Right there's the great thing about America. Since Hollywood is failing us so much, other studios will rise up and take their place.
They just had that one there about the nuclear war, the apocalypse, or something.
Yeah, but they also did that. What the heck was it about the kids being sold into slavery, The Price of Freedom or something?
Yeah, so, yep.
That was was pretty good. So they're a based studio that just wants to put out good entertainment.
And not have to worry about the Hollywood bullcrap.
Yeah.
So, you got anything to talk about before we get into our quick topics other than that?
No, that was basically it.
Good?
Good.
All right, just a couple quick topics for this week. The Last of Us Season 2 premiered on April 13th.
Who cares?
I watched the season premiere. Rotten Tomatoes-wise and critic-wise, it's getting the upper 80s and 90s. I would give it maybe a 7 out of 10. I did not like it all that much.
The first Last of Us video game was an all-time classic.
Yeah.
The second one, what they did with the story was so abysmal. I never played it. Will never play it.
Yeah. See, this is where I don't get into the video game, so when it comes, I can watch the show and not know.
If they do what they did in the second season, for whatever they did in the second game, it's.
I mean, the first season, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty decent.
If it was based on the first game,
it was decent.
Then it deserved that.
This one so far, starting out at a 7 out of 10, but the critics, like I said, are in the upper 80s and 90s. I'm like, I didn't think it was that high.
Unfortunately, because of the second game, Last of Us to me is dead.
Andor Season 2 comes out next Tuesday. I'm looking forward to that. I know you don't, but I'm telling you really should watch Andor
It's Disney
Season
Star
1.
Wars. I don't care.
I get that.
There is something I wanted to tell you. I did watch Reacher Season 3.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Better than Season 2.
It was better than 2, not nearly as good as 1.
Right. I mean, it definitely, Season 1 is here.
Awesome.
Season 3 is here, and Season 2 below
Season
that.
1, they killed Joe. They killed his brother. Yeah. It was personal.
Yeah. Season 1 was great. Season 2 was all right. Season 3 was better than Season 2.
Season 3 was better than 2.
Yeah.
Right there's what I'll say. It was right there in the middle.
Right.
It was. I mean, it's worth the watch.
It is, because you know what? It's actually fun. Even Season 2 wasn't the great, but it was fun.
Yeah.
And it shows that Amazon Prime can actually put out some decent stuff amongst their crap.
And I still have not started. I'm pretty sure I'm going to start it next week with a guy at work. Invincible from the beginning.
Oh, you're going to watch all seasons?
Yeah. Because it's good.
That's great stuff. It's great stuff. Thunderbolts come out on May 2nd, which I'm actually looking forward to because hopefully this might help bring Marvel back. We'll see. I mean, the Thunderbolts is Marvel's version of...
Marvel is screwed because of what's coming out about Fantastic Four. They have absolutely killed that in its tracks. Just
Secret War, not Secret. What's the next one they're coming out with? Avengers something.
Avengers Doomsday or something, right?
Yeah, that one already sounds like crap, looks like crap.
Yep.
But I'm hoping good things for Thunderbolts because it is Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad. We'll see. But the one that I just saw today, which I thought was really cool, Jaws is celebrating 50 years this year. And it came out on June 20th of 1975. One of the greatest movies of all time.
Yes.
Easily one of the greatest movies of all time. So they're going to re-release it, and actually in Martha's Vineyard, they're going to do a special release in Martha's Vineyard. They're talking about doing an outdoor screen on the beach in Martha's Vineyard. That would be cool.
That's cool.
That would be awesome to go see that, and having this ocean in the background with the sounds of the ocean plus watch it. That'd be something to go to.
Well, Dave, you can go to it, but after it's over, you have to leave because you're a peasant.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to afford to go on Martha's Vineyard and probably watch that. But I think that would be fun. And you know what? Because they're going to do a wide release, I might actually go see it in the theater.
I would definitely consider it.
Yeah, I've never seen it in the theater.
Me neither.
And it's one of the greatest movies ever made.
Speaking of movies absolutely killing themselves before they even come out, what HBO did with the Harry Potter, I saw some fan fiction, some like fan art of Adam Driver as Snape, and I was like, that looks right.
He should have been.
That looks right.
They're changing things up.
And, I know nothing about the guy that they cast, and he may have been the best. I don't know. But in the books, he was very clearly a white character.
Yeah.
He was described as such.
Yeah. I don't understand why they did that.
Yeah, it's...
Unless they're trying to, come to the younger crowd. I don't know.
So
I don't know.
Adam Driver would have been nice as him.
Adam Driver.
You know who I would have loved as like Dumbledore, which was, what was his name? Jared Harris.
Yeah, you mentioned that, a couple weeks ago we talked about that.
That would have been perfect.
Yep.
I would be so excited for that show if those two people were cast.
But Adam Driver kind of looks like a younger.
Yeah. He did. When I saw that when I saw that fan art, I was like, whoa. I'm like that. And then they did the side by side with him and Alan Rickman. I was like, wow, that's another missed opportunity. Yeah. HBO is
they're that I don't even get into it. Because we could go down that rabbit hole all day long too.
Now I've never read the books, but I did see the eight movies?
The movies are great.
The movies were excellent.
From one all the way through to the end.
Yep.
They're just good, fun, steady,
well-cast movies.
Well cast and good stories.
Yep.
So,
and they were fun. All of them were fun. I mean,
the best one is Prison of Azkaban.
Yeah. There was a couple stupid scenes, but it's like for the most part,
you get a couple bad scenes out of 8 movies.
Yeah,
I can live with that.
Yep.
Now you get a whole bunch of crap out of a couple seasons, like some of this stuff does now. Okay, that's the big difference. Anything else?
I don't know.
Before we get into our main stuff?
It's kind of that King of Kings looks good, and I'm sick and tired of these companies just, hey, you know what, Angel Studios?
I hope
there's going to be more studios like that popping up as more and more of these Hollywood idiots keep running their studios into the ground.
Isn't Sylvester Stallone doing a movie for them, too, about a lost hiker up in New Hampshire, I think?
Maybe.
I believe so. It's a true story about some hiker lost up in the White Mountains in New Hampshire.
I mean, Angel Studios seems like a studio that Sly would like to work with.
Yeah,
because
all these other companies are losing money hand over fist. You got Disney that doesn't know what they're doing. Their stockholders are having fits. Their board members are having fits. Now they're trying to get rid of Jackass. They're already trying to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, hopefully they'll straighten themselves up, but it's going to take years for Disney to right the ship.
If you told yourself, or if you heard from like your future self, like 20 years ago, that you'd basically be rooting for Disney to like go under, you would be like, "There's no way, Disney's amazing."
Yeah, it used to be.
It used to be,
and then the late 2000 teens happened.
Yep,
and up until now, so I don't care. They wouldn't belly up. I wouldn't care.
I want them to redo the original trilogy, give it a $6 billion budget.
Yeah.
Go.
They have ruined their classics. They've taken this whole bringing their animation to live action overboard, and most of them are crap.
Their live action animation is abysmal.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have a whole episode on their Star Wars crap. I mean, they're destroying Marvel. Because of their crap.
I am going to be a rambling, incoherent idiot.
Well, that's why I think before we have that episode of Star Wars, we're going to have to give you a Xanax or something. melatonin, something just to kind of.
Let me just come in
no
here
caffeine
drunk.
that day.
Let me just come in here drunk. Someone can drive me home.
Yeah. No caffeine that day.
I won't give up.
All right, so our main topic this week is our top 10 cartoons from when we grew up. And I mean, I had a lot on there. This was actually hard for me to narrow down to top 10 plus 2 honorable mentions.
Ours should be pretty different.
Well, I think it's going to be a lot because a lot of my stuff is older stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I have.
and then we're going to get to one of them on here that a certain person in the background never saw, which I cannot believe. That one just blows me away.
Weird.
And we will make sure that is announced when we get to that show.
Listen, these kids
God,
haven't seen crap from, what was it, the 70s?
When I heard that, I couldn't
Early
believe it.
70s?
What, Flintstones?
You just giving stuff away, Dave.
So everybody knows it's going to be on my list.
Dave,
I mean,
just go with your 2 honorable mentions.
my honorable
I am
mentions.
sick of you.
I can leave right now.
I'll leave too.
Okay. Good. Close it down. Let's go.
We're leaving.
All right. So my first honorable mention is very few people have probably heard of this cartoon. It's called Herculoids from 1967 to 1969. 18 episodes. Wasn't a long-lived cartoon, but it was a sci-fi cartoon. Humans living on a foreign planet with a gorilla, a stegosaurus, a triceratops that shot laser stones out of its horn. I loved it.
A nearly 70-year-old show that ran 18 episodes. Yeah, probably not too many people have heard of it. I've heard of Herculoids. I don't know what they look like or anything. I've just heard Herculoids.
Yeah, I love that show. My second honorable mention is Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends from 1981 to 1983, 24 episodes.
That sure sucked. I've seen him. It was him that fired
Firestar.
Chick and
Iceman.
some ice guy. Yeah. It was so cringe. It was bad.
It was awesome.
It was terrible.
It was awesome.
It was terrible.
It was awesome.
Okay, that's what's your honorable mention.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So those are my 2 honorable mentions. Now let me see what yours are.
Well, I'm going to start off with an absolute classic. Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies. 1930 to present. They were little short cartoons featuring the likes of Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Elmer Fudd, Foghorn Leghorn, Yosemite Sam, Tweety Bird, Sylvester the Cat, and so on.
And so on.
How
and
can
so
you
on.
not love them?
Up until the 90s. In late 90s and
That's
stuff.
I think that's when they stopped originally, like 97.
And then they came out with their new
and then they
version
came out
of
with
it.
like newer stuff.
And it's
I've
bad.
never seen any of the newer
I mean,
stuff.
you figured the newest stuff, Yosemite Sam, they took away his pistols. God.
Why?
Come on.
Oh, geez. Oh.
Guns.
Let me guess. The Columbine shooting or something?
Guns. I mean, the evil of mankind, guns.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because guns kill people, not the people holding them.
Yeah.
They just happen to go off.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, Merry Melodies.
And
it was so good.
what was the skunk snake? Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe
Remember
Le
when
Pew.
they had that whole
Oh,
thing
yeah.
about him? Oh my God, these people have nothing in life better to do than to find things to bitch about and bring politics into everything.
Second honorable mention, I'm going with Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Ran from 1989 to 1990. Pretty short-lived. I think it was like 2 seasons. I don't know. But it was Chip and Dale are joined by their friends Gadget, Hack Wrench, Montgomery Jack, and Zipper. They run a detective agency where they help other animals solve crimes that were generally something that the police wouldn't get involved in.
Yeah.
And plus, I mean, they
Yeah,
were
it
animals.
was neat.
It was a fun show.
It was neat.
Yep.
Yeah, it was neat.
I liked it.
Yeah, I don't want to put it in my top 12, but okay.
Dave, you weren't a kid when it came out.
No, I wasn't.
So go away.
Thank God.
Go back to your list.
So my number 10 is Transformers from 1984 to 1987. 98 episodes. It's the Transformers. The best Transformers thing we've ever had, including the movies.
Well, the first couple live action movies were pretty good.
Yeah, but
the first 3.
I still think the Transformers.
The animated Transformers movie.
Yeah, that's
is
awesome.
The Transformers,
Right.
the movie.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's the best Transformer
Right.
things we've ever
I mean, the Transformers. You have the Autobots versus Decepticons. That's what it's about. You got the great characters, Optimus Prime and Bumblebee for the Autobots, and for the Decepticons,
and Megatron.
Megatron and Starscream are the 2 big. I mean, many other ones, but those are the 4 everybody knows.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rodimus Prime.
great animation for its time. Great
It's
stories.
just great animation.
Yeah. So yeah, number
The
10.
80s had really good animation.
Yeah, G.I. Joe from back in those days. That was good stuff. But yeah, that was my number 10 is Transformers. My number 9 is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe from 1983 to 1985, 65 episodes. It's about He-Man, who was actually Prince Harry, She-Ra, Skeletor, Merman.
Merman?
Yeah, he was in it. Oh,
What
there's...
the hell's a merman?
Well, you never watched it?
I've seen Zoolander.
Okay. But, you know, there's just a bunch of alien creatures.
A bunch of mermen.
Yeah, and actually, they are talking about doing a He-Man and the Masters of the Universe movie right now,
They did one. It starred Dolph Lundgren.
which was bad.
It had its moments.
I shouldn't
It
say
had
it's
its
bad.
moments.
It's a great B movie.
Yeah.
It's Dolph Lundgren really never was a
A-lister?
tier A-lister actor. He
played
did a
some
great
good
job as
supporting role.
Punisher.
Yeah, his Punisher is an underrated
Yeah,
job.
Punisher.
Also, Ivan Drago.
Yeah,
But again,
that's
he
probably
was
his most popular role.
he was probably a supporting character.
Yeah, but that was his,
I mean, probably. He was a supporting character.
that was
he
his
just a
most
villain
popular role by
who
by a
spoke
long
like 6 words.
shot. I will
break.
Yeah, I
He
will,
dies.
I will break you.
He dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will break you.
But yeah, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe from 1983 to 85. My number 9.
My number 10, I'm going with G.I. Joe, a real American hero, 1983 to 1986. And it's all about the Joes battling the Cobras as they try and take over the world with different schemes every week.
And great war machines, different types of vehicles.
That show was there to sell toys, and it worked. I had their base, I had a couple tanks, I had like 30 action figures.
I still have, what's the helicopter? One of the helicopters.
I had a helicopter too.
I had one of the
couldn't-
Jeeps.
It was like a one Joe helicopter.
And there's some big money in G.I. Joe.
I bet you if you
classic
got
G.I.
a
Joe
bunch
toys.
of that stuff,
Big money.
still boxed up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
No, it's big money. And what was they came out with that aircraft carrier. It was like 6.5 feet long,
yeah.
3.5 feet wide.
Yeah, it was like the Liberty or something.
Yeah, it's thousands and thousands of
I can
dollars.
picture it because I looked it up as like what is the most expensive like G.I. Joe thing, and it's their aircraft carrier. I think it was called the
huge.
Freedom or the Liberty.
Yeah, it's like
something like
it's
that.
like 6.5 feet long by 3.5
Yeah.
feet wide at its widest.
It's cool looking.
Yeah, it's
There is
awesome.
no way Kid Me was keeping that in the box.
No.
I was opening that sucker up.
Absolutely not. No, that's a good show though, G.I. Joe.
Yeah, it's a classic.
The movies,
I just watched that Snake Eyes movie.
that was horrible.
It was bad. Like the action scenes were fine, but
Decent.
the story was terrible.
Horrible.
All right, I went with my number 9. I went with Hey Arnold, 1996 to 2004. And that show follows fourth grader Arnold Shortman and his friends Gerald and Helga as they navigate life and school in the inner city. I mean, Hey Arnold and his football-shaped head. It was part of that
I remember-
Nickelodeon.
My son loved that, and all the kids that he grew up with were Hey
It
Arnold
was
guys.
all part of the, back in the mid-90s when Nickelodeon ruled,
Yeah.
when
it was
kid
good.
television.
Nickelodeon actually had some good stuff back in the
They
day.
had some excellent stuff. I got more Nickelodeon stuff
I
coming
bet
up.
you do. Yeah. So, my number 8, and you already went over it, is Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
I can remember watching that as a kid. I had to do chores in the morning every Saturday when I lived with my grandmother up on the farm. We'd go out in the barn, do our chores, come in, we would get our cereal, lay on the living room floor, and watch our Saturday morning cartoons, but you had to watch Looney Tunes.
Well, the older ones, because they don't care about being politically correct,
Right.
because
Oh.
back then it wasn't.
Some of that stuff.
It wasn't a big issue.
Yeah.
God, they would do some funny stuff.
I mean, Bugs Bunny, come on.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it.
Elmer Fudd,
Elmer Fudd, Daffy Duck.
Foghorn Leghorn.
I love Foghorn Leghorn. He's probably one of my favorite characters out of it. And then what's the little Martian?
Oh, Marvin.
Marvin. Love Marvin the Martian. But, Foghorn Leghorn, when he's always chasing the weasel.
Yep.
It's classic stuff. It's
Yosemite
classic.
Sam and
Yeah.
Tasmanian
Roadrunner
Devil.
and Coyote.
Roadrunner and the Coyote.
Which I guess they tried to make a movie. And it was put, Channing Tatum was part of it and stuff. And,
What?
Yeah. Live action
I'm glad that
type thing.
didn't happen.
Yeah. So that was my number 8 was Looney Tunes. My number 7 is Gargoyles from 1994 to 1987. I'm sorry, 1994 to 1997. 78 episodes. The voices of Ed Harris, Marina Sirtis from Star Trek Next Generation, Jonathan Frakes from
You were a kid when that came out?
No, but my son used to watch it, and I love that cartoon. It's about the Gargoyles were Goliath, Demona, Coldstone, Broadway, Hudson. They were gargoyles taken away from medieval Scotland and wake up in modern New York, and they become the protectors of the night. I actually have some Funko Pops of the gargoyles. They're actually talking about doing a redo of more of a live action version of it, which I would go see. Probably will suck.
Yeah,
but but yeah, gargoyles from 1994 to 1997.
Okay, my number 8, I went with Doug, and I went specifically when Nickelodeon had it. 1991 to 9. I loved Doug as a kid. I like the character. Doug Funny wants to be a normal kid in a new school while he's trying to impress his crush, Patty Mayonnaise. His best friend was Skeeter, who had green skin. No, wait. Skeeter had blue skin. The bully, Roger Klotz, had the green skin. Yep. And every episode at the end, he would write in his journal about what happened that day. And it was, I don't know, I liked it. Yep. I loved Doug. It was another Nickelodeon show. My number 7 is also a Nickelodeon show, Rugrats.
Rugrats is awesome.
1991 to apparently 2004.
It ran for a long time.
I didn't realize it ran that long. Yeah. Tommy Pickles and his friends Chucky, Angelica, Phil, Lil, Susie get into misadventures, mostly at Tommy's house. While they were, was it his dad's name was Stu and his grandfather's name was Lou, I think. And his grandfather would just, be babysitting them and just go off in the other room and just fall asleep. And they would get out of their little play area and just wander around the house and just get into these little adventures. It was just cartoon. A funny show starring little babies, and
some of the stuff they would get into was just fun.
Yeah. And it was funny. Yeah. All right, Dave.
So my number 6 is Spider-Man from 1994 to 1998, 65 episodes. You want to watch true Spider-Man that lives up to the comics for a lot is that run of Spider-Man. You had the best version of Venom. You had the best version of Morbius. You had the best versions of Kraven. You had the best. It was just Hobgoblin. It was the comics almost to a T in the animated TV show. What Sony has done to Venom, Morbius, Kraven, is so bad. You want to watch true to the form comic book of those characters, Spider-Man 1994 to 1998, 65 episodes. Great show. You didn't like it?
Nope. Wow. It wasn't that good. I watched a few episodes. I watched a lot of episodes.
I think it was actually Doppelganger, one of the few.
I kept waiting for it to get good, and it just never did. The fighting was terrible. He would just swing around and shoot webs, and he never engaged. Watch it again.
I own it on Blu-ray.
The combat's crap.
I own it on Blu-ray because I like it that much.
All right.
You know what?
Was that your number 5?
No, my number 5 is probably it should have been my I'm sorry. Should be a little higher, but I'm happy where it's at. Is one of, if not the best Batman shows ever. Batman the Animated Series.
That is criminally high.
1992, 1995, 85 episodes. The voices of the two characters, Kevin Conroy as Batman, phenomenal. Mark Hamill as Joker, phenomenal. The way they showed the villains, his rogue gallery of villains, Batman the Animated Series is, to me, still one of the best Batman things you can watch.
Yes. And you want to see really good animation and really good fighting during a cartoon show, you watch that. And then you watch the Spider-Man show and you go, oh, now I see what he means. Spider-Man swings around like a pansy.
Yeah, okay. Right. Well,
My turn.
Guess what? I liked it.
Yeah, guess what? My turn. My number 6, I went with Transformers, 1984 to 87. Autobots versus the Decepticons. They like end up here on Earth, and they continue their war that's been lasting like centuries.
Yeah, forever.
That like originated on their home planet on Cybertron. Yeah, it's just another show that I think the show was based on a toy line, right? Because I think the toys came out
The
first.
toys came out, and then the cartoon came out.
Yeah, I think G.I. Joe also was based on a toy, and then I think they got Marvel Productions to do like some animated commercials, and they were so popular that they ended up getting them to just make these whole shows.
Did you hear that they want to do a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover movie?
Okay.
Yeah, it'll suck. I would like to see it. That would be cool.
I'd be interested to see it, but I don't think it would be good. But sure, why not?
Yeah.
There's a chance it could be good.
Yeah, could be.
So my number 5, X-Men the animated series, 92 to 97, animated series based on Marvel's X-Men. This was so much better than Spider-Man.
I totally forgot all about that, to be honest with you.
So much better than Spider-Man.
Everything would be shifted down from about where I'm at now, down one.
So
forgot all about that.
Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
One of the main reasons I didn't like Spider-Man so much was because, like, X-Men came out around the same time, and it was so much better.
I forgot all about it.
Gargoyles was better than Spider-Man. Gargoyles was pretty damn good. I didn't make my list, but it's pretty good.
No, I like Spider-Man.
Good.
But yes, X-Men.
Yes.
Excellent.
They just released the X-Men 1997 on Disney Plus.
Yeah. And the new one they did. Have you seen that?
No, it's Disney. I don't care. I heard it's good, but I don't care.
You got it. Okay, we're gonna have a long discussion about your bias against Disney because you are missing some good stuff.
My bias against Disney is justified. Disney is justified. Look at the MCU.
I know.
Look at their shit.
But their X-Men.
Look at Star Wars.
But the X-Men is really, really good.
I don't care. It's Disney.
Should. I will bring. I'm actually gonna order a Blu-ray. I'll bring it in for you.
Like if Disney was half good and half bad, I would be more inclined to watch it, but it's not. It's like 95% shit and 5% good. And that 5% good, I don't care about.
Your hate is driving you deeper and deeper and deeper.
I want to become Palpatine because of Disney, he ended up winning. So, yeah.
So, yeah, no, the X-Men, I forgot all about it. Excellent, excellent show. Everything on here will be a bump down one from pretty much where I'm at.
Outstanding.
Yeah, so... My number 4 is Super Friends from 1973 to 1986, 93 episodes. Love it.
Didn't they team up with Scooby-Doo a bunch?
Yeah, no, that was Batman.
Yeah, but I thought like Wonder Woman and Superman teamed up with them too.
I don't think so. Batman did a few times. Brave and the Bold with Scooby-Doo. Yeah, there's a few things with Scooby-Doo and Batman, but Super Friends is really the first time in animation that you got introduced to Batman, Robin, Wonder Woman, Superman, Aquaman, Green Lantern.
Why didn't they just call it the Justice League?
Because you had the Justice League there, but it was called Super Friends. Because they're Super Friends.
Okay, but Justice League
is they're Super Friends.
But Justice League is like the name that they're known as.
They're super and they're friends. Okay? They're Super Friends.
It would be like coming out with an Avengers movie and then calling it the Marvel Dudes.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. That doesn't make any sense.
Nope. Neither do Super Friends.
Okay. But I love Super Friends. I mean, it introduced you to a lot of second-tier characters you never saw. But then they kind of got a little crazy later on. But
they got crazy when they named it.
Oh, God.
Go, Dave. Move on to your next one.
Okay. My number 3 is Johnny Quest from 1964 to 1965, 25 episodes. Johnny Quest, Dr. Benton Quest, Roger Race Bannon, the dog named Bandit, and a character you would never have this name again, probably. Haji. Can you imagine them trying to do a movie now or a cartoon and having that character by the name of Haji? It would be trounced off the air by everybody.
It'd be like having an Asian character and just naming them Slant.
But it took place on Earth, but they were fighting aliens, mad scientists with futuristic weapons. I loved Johnny Quest. And I actually own the series on Blu-ray. And the second version they brought out, and I think it was like
it's called The Venture Brothers. It's far better.
Oh, my God. Okay. You know, I've been pretty good with your list.
I have so many shows that I left off here because they didn't come out when I was a kid.
Okay. Did we say they had to been when you were a kid?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
We said our top 10 cartoons.
No. You said from our childhood.
Did I?
Yes.
I think we're going to have to go back on the video and check that out.
Fine.
And then
See how right I am again.
But I love Johnny Quest.
I have the thing out there. I'm going to check it after the show. Because this is not my top 10 cartoon of all time. This is my top 10 cartoons from my childhood.
Okay.
We're doing two different lists.
Okay, two of them. Okay, so two of them wouldn't be on here.
A lot of these wouldn't be on here if it was my favorite of all time.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I grew up with Johnny Quest. With the reruns in the early '70s. So there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I liked Johnny Quest as a kid. Don't get me wrong. I liked it. But the Venture Brothers, did you ever watch that?
Nope.
Oh, it's so funny.
Nope. Never saw that.
It is a parody of Johnny Quest. Patrick Warburton plays, I think, like the big bodyguard. He voices him. God, he's funny.
Never even heard of it.
Really? Check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, you like being a big Johnny Quest fan. And this being an obvious parody of it, like the villains are hysterical.
I love good parodies.
It
I
is
love
an
good
awesome
parodies.
parody. The Venture Brothers, awesome.
I'll have to look it up.
All right, my number 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1987 to apparently 1996. I don't remember it running that long, but whatever. Follows brothers Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael as they battle the Foot Clan and their leader, the Shredder. One thing I forgot about is that in the original cartoon from the 1987, Master Splinter used to be a human. And then when he got, exposed to the ooze because he was surrounded by rats in the sewer, he turned into a rat, and the 4 turtles, since they were already turtles, just kind of grew up into humanoids. I forgot about that.
I was never a big Ninja Turtle guy, but it's still popular to this day.
It's spawned action figures,
comics.
countless video games, comics.
Some of those comics are worth huge money.
The Last Ronin, which is the newest comic, I guess, is dark.
Yeah, and it's actually worth some money. Even though it's a modern comic, it's actually worth some money.
I really, really, really want to pick it up. Yeah. Because the story seems pretty cool. Yeah. All right. My number 3 was The Real Ghostbusters, 1986 to 1991, based on the movie. Doctors Pete Venkman, Egon Spangler, Ray Stantz, Winston Zeddemore, not a doctor, work as paranormal investigators in New York City. Just
one of the best Ghostbusters things we've got since the first 2 movies. It is the best thing.
It's the first movie came out, then this came out, and then 1992, the second movie came out. Right. That's basically all of the Ghostbusters that we have that I consider.
Yeah, the rest great. Of them have been pretty bad.
There was the 2016 Abomination. There was Afterlife, which I admittedly loved the beginning. I thought it set up that it was going to be a really, really good movie. And then the rest of the movie happened. I went to see it, and I had high hopes. And the opening, I was like, wow, this could be great. And then the rest of the movie happened. I was like, it wasn't.
Yeah, no, it was.
And then the second movie, Frozen Empire. My God, the best part of that movie I thought was
the ending. Because it
ended. That new character, I forget his name now, the one who turned into the Firebender.
Yeah,
I thought he was funny.
Yeah,
he was a stupid character. Yeah. But there was, the lesbian ghost relationship. Yeah. Probably the stupidest thing.
But the best part of that movie was when it ended.
Yeah, the best part of the movie was when it ended.
Yeah.
And it had that one character in it that had some funny lines.
Yeah. Wasn't as bad as 16's version.
It
was, but I mean, it
was
still pretty bad.
That's
it was.
That's
16. I still to this day can't believe what they did to that. I understand they wanted to do an all women's team, and that's fine. But the story, oh my God, sucked. And then some of the
casting was terrible too.
Yeah,
those 4 women,
they tried
had no
too
problem.
hard.
Had no business being on screen together.
And when you can say the best part of the movie was Chris Hemsworth, and that wasn't good,
and he was awful.
Yeah, so
him and Mike Hatt.
Yeah. Oh, it was bad. So, my number 2, we kind of hit on this earlier in the show.
Jetsons.
Flintstones from 1960 to 1966, 166 episodes. It follows Fred, Barney, Wilma, and Betty,
Pebbles and Bam Bam,
Shaggy,
Dino,
and Scooby.
Wait a minute.
What? Mel Blanc did the video, the
Wait a minute.
voices for
What was
Barney and Dino.
their... What was the dinosaur's name? Wasn't it like Dino or Dino?
Yeah, Dino. He was voiced by Mel Blanc. So you have Fred, Barney, Wilma, and Betty. And actually,
Pebbles and Bam Bam.
they're some of the same voices that actually voice characters in my number one, which I just kind of leaked out. But
Oh yeah, they were like the same studio. I would
there's
wager.
a certain individual in this studio, no names will be mentioned. When we brought this in, she said she's never seen an episode of the Flintstones.
What do you care? She's like 12.
That just blows me away. It blew you away that she never saw it.
Didn't blow me away.
Yeah, it did. You were
I
even
just said
shocked.
wow.
You were shocked.
I said wow.
I think everybody's going to be shocked when they see it. Maybe
I said that they actually had a pretty decent live action movie.
Yeah. You know, maybe we'll actually get some comments and there'll be people like, wow, shocked.
No one's watching this shit. My mom doesn't even watch it anymore.
But yeah, Flintstones from 1960 and 1966. Fred, Barney, Wilma,
Great
and
show.
Betty.
Great show.
It's awesome. It was really based on a lot of the 50s shows like, what's the one with Jackie Gleason?
Honeymooners?
Honeymooners. It was based on the Honeymooners and a lot
Are
of
you
those
shocked I
others.
knew that?
Yeah, I actually am. The sitcoms from the 50s, and you can it's just such a good show.
It was a great show. The problem was, it wasn't on a lot when I was a kid. Like I saw it, but I didn't see a lot of it. But what I saw was excellent.
I actually bought the whole collection on Blu-ray.
And it would be worth having.
Yeah.
Again, because it is old enough that they will have funny jokes in there because they don't care about being PC.
Yeah. Oh, there's stuff if you watch that and be like, yeah, okay, they wouldn't allow this anymore. So my number one is Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? From 1969 to 1975. It was 1976 through 1991. Actually ended up going to ABC. From 69 to 76 was CBS. But when ABC took over, kind of went down the crapper. Because that's when they started bringing in Scrappy-Doo.
That's what they did with Doug, too, because Nickelodeon had it, and then ABC took over, and I didn't like it. Like, they changed, like, the animation. I think they had, like some new voice actors, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
Then in 2010, they brought back Scooby-Doo Mystery. It sucked. And then just last year, they did the Velma show, which was an absolute...
That was HBO.
Yeah, horrible DEI.
Well, that's not even Scooby-Doo.
But...
Let's be real.
It's not.
There
but
is
they
no
used
Shaggy.
all the characters.
There is no... because
well, they didn't...
there is no Shaggy. It's now... What was his name? Norbert or something?
Yeah, it was...
Velma was an Indian. Daphne was Chinese or something.
It was bad.
Fred was a white guy, but that was just so they could, give him, there could be jokes at his expense.
So it follows Scooby, Shaggy, Fred, Daphne, and Velma. Shaggy was voiced by Casey Kasem, who ended up being famous for his radio
Cameo in
show.
Ghostbusters?
Yeah, Ghostbusters. But Scooby-Doo, I mean, everything about it.
Mystery Machine.
The Mystery Machine, which you go to a lot of Comic Cons, stuff like that. People have their version of it there. The stories were fun for kids. They were always monsters, but they're actually people inside, the suits and stuff.
Even though they were clearly monsters when they drew them.
Right. So it was. I loved that show growing up. And I actually purchased it on Blu-ray, the whole series, because it's worth it.
You must have an interesting Blu-ray wall at your
I'll have
house.
to show you my Blu-ray collection sometime.
Yeah,
4K.
you would have to.
So you'll love the Disney section.
Point out all the crap you got on there because you have to complete things. So
I'm
have
sorry,
all the Disney shit.
I'm a completist when it comes to certain things. So if I will have, even though the movie might suck.
It's people like you that are keeping scumbag corporations like
I
Disney
know,
on life.
I know. That's the cost I bear.
My number 2, Batman the Animated Series. Kevin Conroy voices one of the best versions of Batman. Mark Hamill might be the best Joker we've ever had.
Yeah.
Might be. It's either him or Heath. Or maybe Jared.
Yeah. The only time he was good as the Joker was in the Nightmare scene.
Yeah. And even that wasn't that great.
Yeah, because that crap he pulled in the Suicide Squad sucked.
Yeah, so Batman the Animated Series, it's so
It's awesome.
friggin'
It's awesome.
good.
It's awesome. Yeah,
And
the animation, you get so many of his villains from his rogue gallery. I mean, I think they introduced you to almost every one of his villains at one point or the other.
Yeah.
There's
I don't
in
I mean,
multiple
I'm pretty sure
times.
like Calendar Man is in there. Like at some, I mean, because there's so many episodes, it's like they need to like get these characters in there. What are we, like 4 or 5 seasons?
Well, yeah, it was 100. I mean, it was what?
92 to 95.
85
So that would be like
episodes.
4 seasons.
Yeah. But, I mean, you got great versions of the Joker, great versions of the Penguin, great versions of
Mr. Freeze,
Cat-
Catwoman.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was awesome. You had Robin, you had Batgirl.
Yeah.
I don't think you had Nightwing because Robin was still Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
So
Even at the end of the series. Yeah, I don't think they ever brought it.
yeah, I don't think they ever brought him.
Yeah. No, great show.
Yep. My number 1 is The Simpsons. 1989 to present, one of the longest running shows in TV history, was the must-watch show in its first like 12 or 13 years. I know it got pretty shitty after that, but my God, the first decade and a half of Simpsons was untouchable. It was awesome.
Yeah. I was never a huge fan of it, but I
can you not
enjoy
be a huge
watching.
fan
I'll watch some of the earlier
I can
stuff
see
and kind of,
if you
this is good.
like if you started off on season like 20
Yeah.
and then started from there, then you could say it's meh at best.
Yeah.
But its first season was a little. They were still figuring shit out. Second season, it really took off. But that's with a lot of shows.
One thing, didn't they do the thing in Springfield, Vermont for Simpsons?
Well, I know that Springfield, Vermont was voted
To be like the
the
Springfield
closest
yeah.
of like the actual Springfield from this.
Because they had a statue down there for a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but it was in like their town hall. It was like it was like a Homer hand holding a donut, and I haven't seen it. Did they get rid of it?
I don't know.
Scumbags. I'm going to say George.
One thing I did forget to put on here.
X-Men?
It's a modern, X-Men. But South Park, I can watch South Park.
Yeah, I would have put South Park on mine too, but this South Park really wasn't out for my childhood. Dave,
No, I know, but holy
shit, are they awesome? Yeah, and they still are.
the stuff they do,
And
they don't care.
They don't care because they are the only thing Comedy Central has.
Yeah.
So whatever powers that be might say to them, you can't have that on there. It's not PC. They'll say, we don't care.
Yeah, I mean they've gone
And any
out there.
fines that they might have, they'll pay them happily.
Yeah, their COVID special that
Yeah.
they did was fantastic.
Yeah.
When they went after Kathleen Kennedy,
They should have went after her harder. They were, I think,
they were
even-
nice, but
I
they
think
hit
were
her
nice.
hard.
But they did hit her hard, but not hard enough.
But South Park is one of those shows. When I first started watching it years ago, I was like, yeah, okay. But as it got going, and when they were really tackling those politically sensitive issues, I'm like, these people are great.
Do you know when South Park was actually finally laid out and mapped out in its entirety? The first video game.
Oh yeah, I didn't know it was a video game.
It's hysterical. They're like these like old school Japanese role playing games where like you fight like hobos and shit. It is hysterical. There's 2 of them. There is the Stick of Truth and the Fractured Butthole.
I didn't know that.
I haven't played the second one. I did play the first one. It is awesome. They're still really expensive though. It was an Xbox 360 game, and I went looking to see if I could buy both of them for like maybe $30. Nope.
But yeah, South Park is one of those. Yeah, I didn't have a grip, but man,
Fractured Butthole.
Jesus, that stuff is funny. And I can see where some people be like, ooh, they. But,
Not me.
oh, I love it.
We need it.
Yeah.
We need more
Oh,
shit
need more,
like that.
Stuff like that. 'Cause
And it's
everybody-
coming, but we still got so much crap.
Oh,
coming up
everybody's
with it.
butthurt over so much stuff now.
Oh well.
So that was our top 10 cartoons. Hope you guys enjoyed that. So our next episode, which will be in 2 weeks, it'll be what 4 or 5 days before this. It's going to be
If I can get some like booger sugar out of the evidence locker at work,
but
and like drink like 4 monsters before I come in, I might be able to take this whole studio down.
so our next episode is going to be May the 4th Be With You, which is a great celebration of Star Wars.
It used to be a great celebration. Of a great
However,
thing.
we are going to do
It's been kidnapped by liberals.
the Disney Star Wars complaint session.
All right, look, First of all,
I'm being nice, not.
I'm saying
our bitch section.
this needs to be a part 1
Yeah.
because my complaint session for Disney Star Wars, depending on whatever stimulants or downers you have me on. I mean, if you have me on enough stimulants, I'll probably get through
like
it
I
all
said,
in
we
an
need
hour,
to
but
just
that'll
have
be
you come
me.
in here with no caffeine on board, nothing on board. Just
It's not gonna happen, Dave. I'm a grown up. I'm doing it.
you just need to come in and be level headed and appreciate
Look,
stuff.
if
that
you agree
Disney
to come
has
get me, I'll come in drunk. We'll have a good old time.
We both are huge Star Wars fans,
Well, we both were.
and
You still are.
and then Disney took over, and it's been a downward.
And,
I can't even say a slide.
and I was so excited. What was it, 2012? He wanted Kathleen to run it, and I didn't really know who she was, but I saw her name in the beginning of the Indiana Jones movies.
Everything.
And I saw her names in all the Star Wars movies and all the stuff that George and Steven did together. Like, you would see her name in the credits. I'm like, all right, she probably knows what she's doing. She probably knows what these two guys would do in these certain situations. Great. Put it in her hands. Let her, guide this thing into, cinema history.
Next level of greatness. And I can't even call it a slide down. It was just like a
What was like to
plane
you
wreck.
your moment?
Force Awakens.
I know for me what mine was, and that was. So yours was The Force Awakens.
Certain parts of Force Awakens. The
Force
one that,
Awakens wasn't great, but I liked it.
the part that got me in Force Awakens when I was like, okay, this is not good, is when Han Solo literally just is killed.
Just walks into a lightsaber.
Yeah, and Princess Leia goes to meet what's her name, Rey, and
Rey
Chewbacca
Palpatine.
off the Millennium Falcon, and who Rey and them just met each other like 2 days prior.
Yeah, something like that.
She just ignores Chewbacca, who's been friends with this family and partners with Han Solo for years, and walks up and gives Rey a hug. That was my first part going. Now we're going down the.
My big was, and I even forget when it happened, but the whole Force is female shirts.
Oh yeah,
It was like, I think that came out before the movie though, didn't it?
It did. That was one of those.
But then I saw the movie, thought it was fine, was so looking forward to the sequel because of how the first one ended, and then, wow.
Like I said, it wasn't even a slide. It was just like a plane crash. It just.
Oh yeah.
They didn't know what they were doing. We'll get into all this.
Yeah, we're gonna get all this next week.
story.
I'm tired of you.
Yeah, I'm
don't
tired of
wanna be
you
around
too.
you
But
anymore.
you got
You
anything?
did the wrong list.
You got anything else to say before we end the show?
Go Birds.
Yeah. Well, your Phillies are doing okay.
Yeah.
Red Sox suck.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bad. They can't hit the ball.
Well,
106
you guys paid Bregman $40 million.
164 hits, 141 strikeouts. The Red Sox have right now. That's to 84 walks.
Yeah, sounds about right.
That's bad. When you're almost doing a hit per strikeout,
Sounds about right.
that's bad. So, yeah, that was our episode for today, which was the top 10 cartoons. Our next episode will be May the 4th Be With You, a Disney Star Wars complaint session. So we will see you back here in 2 weeks. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Remember, if you have any comments, send them to the Average Dave's Talk at yahoo.com or comment on the video itself. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. Have a good day.
Bye.